Okay, so apparently the hyperdimension Neptunia community has been breeding an endless number of spawns straight from its nutsack, which is an anomaly within itself because apart from having to pay a female worker a majority of his income just to have pity sex with them, I don't see how this motherfucker drops loads without the help from his crusty socks. So today we're gonna talk about VertOfLeanbox, which hits about as hard and makes about as much sense as something like the bitchless incel, the unfunny Amy Schumer, or the Chris Chandler of the Neptunia community, but it's about on point with his virgin alter ego, Vert, from the hyperdimension Neptunia series, or as I like to call him, the Haiji Towa of the fandom.
I like him younger. As young as possible.
But I'm not here to roast this dumbass on his lack of social skills or whatever his uncle calls his asshole when they're playing hide to pickle. Instead, I'm here to talk about the wannabe tough guy hiding behind his computer screen with his chest puffed out and his balls tucked firmly between his legs as he attempts to suck himself off. Going so far as to talk about how much pussy he claims to get when a normal woman wouldn't want to touch him with a 10-foot pole. Seriously, these people suck as hard as any given episode of the casting couch. And in hindsight, it wouldn't be far of a stretch to see them on it. On that list is VertOfLeanbox, a man so infamous for creating Neptunia piss fetish garbage and running his racist mouth more frequently than a trip to his local glory hole that had you watch any of his content, you would have been made dumber for the experience. And for that, I feel you. I swear, why can't any of you be fucking normal? Do you guys know how irritating it is to have to listen to a nearly 25-year-old man's recounting his make-believe AI piss fantasy fetish retelling of how he became the community's saddest example? This is the cautionary tale of what happens when even your imaginary friends hate you so much, they rob you of your lunch money and shove you into your uncle's closet for tickle time. So if pride isn't your sin of choice, may I interest you in lust, as this troglodyte's been notorious for creating poorly conceived AI fetish audios, although maybe he tries to get other people to commission this garbage only to get blocked in response. Let me try to explain though. So if you will, imagine you catch your boy saying some real heinous shit about assaulting various women and going into details about what he do to them. Pretty bad, right? Now, imagine it's about fictional characters, and instead he's talking about collecting them or some stupid shit. So, say you go over his place and you catch him not only making AI piss fantasy videos of these fictional characters, but he's displaying it in his echo chamber Discord servers for all to see. Like, imagine being in high school, being caught with that shit, and everyone collectively points and laughs at you. Personally, I don't think I've ever seen a more acceptable way to tell the world that you lack any form of riz and that your sock collection is running low. I'm getting off topic. Let me try to actually explain this shit. VertOfLeanbox, also known as Vex backend support, is an alleged member of the Neptunia community, more notably recognized as one of the worst so-called fans in the Neptunia fandom. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm led to believe that this guy is a potential groomer that tries or tried to coerce multiple women that roleplays the hyperdimension Neptunia characters, most of them are typically underage, by forcing them to have ERP sex with them through means of harassment, or just him being a fucking loser with no social life outside of Discord. Now on top of his behavior, he plays VR chat with an AI voice of Vert, which as you guessed it, does little to actually represent him. Since his mediocre rise to infamy, he's taken to not only creating AI garbage that would not only make a sewer rat gag, but creating some fan fiction around them as though he's collecting them to be a part of his harem because I guess he thinks that means something. He's also claimed to have been a part of multiple servers that are filled with his Lolicon fetish of fictional characters pissing themselves in order to see which one is qualified to become a part of his non-existent harem. He's also been accused of racism, saying the N-word when that stems from getting bullied by the black kids back in his senior years of high school. I've come across some allegations of potential predatory behavior, but so far the allegations are pretty minor. But unlike VertOfLeanbox, I'm not going to try to get into them.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
As for the allegations themselves, VertOfLeanbox is being accused by yours truly and many others like myself of being a pedophile. Why? Well, his actions over the past few years had led me to believe that this so-called behavior is slowly devolving more and more into that of an unhealthy obsession. The main thing I would like to bring up that ties into this allegation is this screenshot with his uni person who was a minor at the time when Vert with a small cock miserably failed to slide into her DMs. Or in this case, himself into her. Although Uni was 17 at the time, VertOfLeanbox, clearly not taking the hit to fuck off and get lost, would keep sending Uni messages that clearly made her uncomfortable, possibly in an attempt to coerce her into ERP sex with them. This isn't the only time he's done this either. Another server I was in at the time before getting banned was called Anime Artisans, another echo chamber Neptunia server, whatever the fuck. Now, a major thing stated was that VertOfLeanbox came into the server to try and harass another one of the members' friends named Brock. Now, I don't know who this Brock person is personally, but I believe it would be safe to assume that Vert was also attempting to harass or coerce this person into doing the same thing that he was also forcing Uni into. I also had a friend named Mama Blackheart that came forward with screenshots that shed some light on more of his degenerate tendencies and behavior. Now, Mama Blackheart says she used to ERP with the dude back in the day, probably on a separate account when she was role-playing as Ray. If you don't know who Ray is, then go and watch Neptunia. I'm pretty sure even the wiki would know more than me. Now, Mama Blackheart will go on to say that Vert was constantly trying to message her, so much so that she became uninterested and had to stop replying to this parasocial loser. At least someone did themselves a favor. But much like a fly buzzing around looking to satiate their hunger with some sloppy seconds, she would also go on to say that Vert has a strange infatuation with some sort of genital mutilation. Knowing me, I did my research and lo and behold, if you didn't think it could get worse, It got worse. You can't fuck me in my HDD form. Okay, buddy. Transformation complete. Now what are you gonna do? No slit, no hole, no pussy. Dude, this is like the equivalent of a serial killer's manifesto, albeit more cringe. That and the fact that you as a 23 or 25-year-old man proceeded to type this bullshit out to a minor of all things. But let's keep reading. I've got no opening for you to stick fuck, nothing for you to stick your pathetically hard cock into. The skin down there, as you can see, has become fused together and hardened in place. You can't slit me open. You can't fuck me. All you can do is beat yourself off to my rather pure and perfect goddess body. I hope you brought an enchanted knife because you're going to need it if you want to get into me. Alright, I'm going to have to stop because this shit is making my ears bleed. This has got to be one of the most down bad things I've ever seen or heard a neptard say. This is the type of shit that makes my friend Astral's kink seem normal. No offense to him, of course. But nigga, be for real, bro. If you think doing shit like this is the peak of your social life, you should probably take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask yourself where you failed in life, because this shit is pitiful. Go outside and take in the fresh air around you instead of smelling the air coming from your ass instead. Now, I've seen his VR chat clips myself, and honestly, I wish I didn't. But aside from that, because of his behavior and his attempt at harassing this Brock character, Brock's friends themselves would even take to accusing him of erotic roleplay with minors on VR chat. Now, I'm not really sure if these allegations are actually true or not, so you'll have to take this with a grain of salt. But seeing as he chooses not to entertain the idea of the allegations by either blocking those who accuses him or simply making excuses without addressing it, it's not impossible to think he actually did do it. 4K is 4K, buddy.
This is 4K! How did they get you at 4K?
That ain't me.
Honestly, it's quite a shame knowing that half of these Neptunian morons are one restraining order away from starring in their own episode of Chris Hansen's To Catch a Predator. And I'm the Chris Hansen of the whole ordeal. I also like how Vert tries to say the past is in the past as if the act of harassing a minor automatically frees you from the chains. Sir, your life is a side quest that no one asked for.
Yeah, this is why you are now and always will be a loser. Your parents must be so disappointed.
Like, imagine your life revolving around harassing people on Discord in one of the most down bad anime fandoms just to play out your degenerate fantasies because you can't get pussy in real life that you didn't have to pay for. This is fatherless behavior, and it makes me think that instead of a father figure, he had two women raising him instead because his dad wouldn't want to be near a waste of air like him. One last thing I want to get out of the way is
Very sorry to interrupt, but is this the section where I come in?
Vert, where did you just come from?
Pardon me, I heard that you were making a video about a hopeless nobody that not only stole my good name, but is doing probably the most deplorable and disgusting thing you can do as an adult. I know I'm not one to talk, but that's too low even for my standards.
Well, knowing that you're both in the same boat, at least you of all people have more common sense than him given what the developers are doing with your character at the moment. Anyways, I'm on limited time and I really have to get this script out for my next up and coming video. Why don't you entertain my audience while I leave to go and take care of said script?
Of course, although I'm not sure if the things I say will end up getting you demonetized.
It's fine or whatever. Well, guess the stage is all yours then. Remember, don't give these Neptunia losers the benefit of the doubt. There are enough criminals in this fandom as it is, sadly. But regardless, I'm here to purge them all anyways. Now, I'm gonna go and work on my new script. Watch over things while I'm gone.
Thank you. Now for the topic at hand. There are no words in existence that would ever convince me that this failed experiment of a human named VertOfLeanbox is a sane human being. Now they do say that cream rise is to the top, though in this case, I think it's more of the case being the biggest shit floats. And it really does take a massive shit to stand out from all the other wastes of space that are just like him. The fact that he uses these AI videos to play out his fantasies on a lot of questionable targets demonstrates that his cock probably works as well as a broken clock. If you're that proud of yourself for making this trash, I have reason to believe that there's something seriously lacking at home or with your sexuality in general, or am guessing in this case, it's probably friendship of any kind, hygienic products, and the lack of having a world-class psychiatrist. In closing, this less-than-human being has wasted a large portion of his life convincing himself that what he's doing is normal. It's good to know that no one's first impression of this weird vert simp is ever of anything beyond disgust, a deeper analysis followed by a fair few chuckles and unwanted pity. I don't even know how to genuinely describe how sad his existence is, but even getting caught sniffing women's seats in public is less embarrassing than this clown. If you happen to run into him in the Neptunia community, try your best to avoid him as much as possible. And if you're a female looking to roleplay, I pray you don't fall victim to this loser and his incel behavior. Now, if you will excuse me, I have to prepare myself for our next up and coming mainline game. I really hope to see all of you there. And a huge thanks goes out to Zero for doing the Neptunia community the favor it needs by ridding this fandom of the scum-sucking parasitic piece species of trash like VertOfLeanbox and all others that share the same degenerate mentality as him. My condolence is go out to Uni and the rest of the people that this guy tried to mess around with. Please consider subscribing to this channel so Zero, the creator, can make more videos like this. We get less weirdos in the community, and the creator of this channel can be successful on this platform. We thank you for your time and we hope to see you all later. Goodbye.
Oh yeah, before I forget, at the time of editing this video, we actually ended up reaching out to one of the victims and the people that were accusing VertOfLeanbox of ERPing with minors, and turns out that Vert was in fact ERPing with a minor who we also got a statement from. So in short, the allegations were true all along.
Dude, question, are you black? Can you say the
Hey, wicked on a beat, ho, you know, you're not safe around him, he a creep, bro, man down, call an ambulance, tell him leave, bro, nail a pedo being silly, drop this hoe to zero. What's up with these manipulating widows trying to dodge charges? You like the cancer, hey, promise I'm just getting started. How many kids you really got? You know you not stopping. I'm gonna diss on this loser, and then I'll get to stomping. Beat him up and hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes gotta pop out and stop pedals. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that likes to drop pedals. Can't even lie. Whole time I knew that he was doing this. Called him out for doing it. He responded with stupid shit.
Us ladies normally have to wipe after peeing, since the stream does tend to splatter on the labia. However, if we hold them apart while peeing, the stream is much cleaner. It's what I do when I'm in the middle of a gaming session and need to quickly pee before getting back into my game.
Were they around? Certified predator, certified pedophile. Fuck 'em up.